Oh, come all ye tramps and the hawker lads, and gatherers of blow, that tramps the country round and round. Come listening and all. I'll tell to ye a roving tale o' sights that I hae seen. It's far into the snowy north, and south by Gretna Green. Oft times I've laughed and ta'en myself when trudging on the road. My toe rags around my blistered feet, my face as brown as a toad. Wee lumps of cake and tatty scones, wee wangs of braxy ham. No gien a thought frae where I've come, and less to where I'm gone. I've done my share of humpin' wi' the dockers on the Clyde. I've helped in bucky trawlers haul the herring out of the side. I helped to build the michty bridge that spans the busy Forth. And wi' money and Angus famers trig, I plewed the bonny earth. I'm happy in the summertime beneath the bright blue sky. No thinking in the morning where at night I'll hae to lie. In barn or byre or anywhere, dancing out among the hay. And if the weather treats me right, I'm happy every day. Oh, come all ye tramps and the hawker lads, and gatherers of blow, that tramps the country round and round. Come listening and all. I'll tell to ye a roving tale o' sights that I hae seen. It's far into the snowy north, and south by Gretna Green. Oft times I've laughed and ta'en myself when trudging on the road. My toe rags around my blistered feet, my face as brown as a toad. Wee lumps of cake and tatty scones, wee wangs of braxy ham. No gien a thought frae where I've come, and less to where I'm gone. I've done my share of humpin' wi' the dockers on the Clyde. I've helped in bucky trawlers haul the herring out of the side. I helped to build the michty bridge that spans the busy Forth. and we money and Angus famers trig. I flew to the bonny airs. I'm happy in the summertime beneath the bright blue sky. No thinking in the morning where at night I'll hate to lie. In barn or byre or anywhere, dossing out among the hay. And if the weather treats me right, I'm happy every day.
At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon, with your pike upon your shoulder, at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush, a vocal, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon. And come tell me, Sean O'Farrell, where the gathering is to be. At the old spot by the river, quite well known to you and me. One more word for signal token, whistle out the marching tune. With your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. At the rising of the moon, at the rising of the moon. With your pike upon your shoulder at the rising of the moon. Out from many a mud-walled cabin, eyes were watching through the night. Many a manly heart was beating for the blessed morning light. Murmurs rang along the valley to the banshee's lonely croon, and 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. By the rising of the moon, by the rising of the moon. And 1,000 pikes were flashing by the rising of the moon. All along the singing river, that black mass of men was seen. High above their shining weapons flew their own beloved green. Death to every foe and traitor, whistle out the marching tune. And hurrah, me boys, for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. 'Tis the rising of the moon, 'tis the rising of the moon. And hurrah, me boys, for freedom, 'tis the rising of the moon. And as I rode out through Galway town to seek for recreation on the 17th of August, me mind being elevated, there were multitudes assembled with their tickets at the station, and me eyes began to dazzle, and they going to see the races. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dinnery idle day. There were passengers from Limerick and passengers from Neenah, passengers from Dublin and sportsmen from Tipperary. There were passengers from Kerry and all quarters of the nation, and our member Mr. Hawley fought to join the Galway Blazers. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dinnery idle day. There were multitudes from Arran and members from New Quayshore, the boys of Connemara and the Clare, unmarried maidens, people from Cork City who were loyal, true and faithful. They brought home the Fenian prisoners from dying in foreign nations. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. And it's there you'll see confectioners with sugar, sticks and dainties, the lozenges and oranges, the lemonade and raisins, gingerbread and spices to accommodate the ladies, and the big crew bean froth rubbins to be sucking while you're able. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. And it's there you'll see the gamblers, the Tyndalls and the Garters, and the sporting wheel of fortune with the 4 and 20 quarters. There was others without scruple pelting wattles at poor Maggie, and our daddy well contented to be gawking at his daughter. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. And it's there you'll see the pipers and the fiddlers competing, the nimble-footed dancers and the tripping on the daisies. There was others shouting cigars and lights and bills for all the races, with the colours of the jockey and the price and horses' ages. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. And it's there you'll see the jockeys, and they mounted on so stately, the pink, the blue, the orange and green, the emblem of our nation. When the bell was rung for starting, all the horses seemed impatient. I thought they never stood on ground, their speed was so amazing. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. There was 500,000 people there of all denominations, the Catholic, the Protestant, the Jew and Presbyterian. There was yet no animosity, no matter what persuasion, but wild and hospitality, inducing Mr. Paisley. Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day. And Timmy whack, fall the dew, fall the dithery idle day.
Far and wide as the eye can wander, heath and bog are everywhere. Not a bird sings out to cheer us, oaks are standing gaunt and bare. We are the peat bog soldiers, marching with our spades to the moon. Up and down the guards are pacing, no one can get through. Flight would mean a sure death facing, guns and barbed wire greet our view. We are the peat bog soldiers, marching with our spades to the moon. But for us there is no complaining, winter will in time be past. One day we will cry rejoicing, homeland dear, you're mine at last. Then will the peat bog soldiers march no more with their spades to the moon.
59. The howling wind and the driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. The wind did blow and the sea rose up, beat the land with mighty waves. At St. Andrew's Bay the lightship fought the sea until her moorings gave. Remember December 59, the howling winds and driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. The captain signaled to the shore, we must have help or we'll go down. From Broughty Ferry at 2 a.m. they sent the lifeboat Mona out. Remember December 59, the howling winds and the driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. 8 men formed that gallant crew. They set their boat against the main. The wind so hard and the sea so rough, we'll never see land or home again. Remember December 59, the howling wind and the driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. 3 hours went by and the Mona called. The wind blows hard and the sea runs high. In the morning on Carnoustie Beach, the Mona and her crew did lie. Remember December 59, the howling wind and driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. 5 lay drowned in the cabin there, 2 were washed up on the shore. 8 men died when the boat capsized, and the 8th is lost forevermore. Remember December 59, the howling winds and driving rain. Remember the gallant men who drowned on the lifeboat. Mona was her name. Remember December 59, the howling wind and the driving rain. The men who leave the land behind and the men who never see land again. Remember December 59, the howling wind and the driving rain. The men who leave the land behind and the men who never see land again.
See the child with the golden hair but eyes that show the emptiness inside. Do we know? Can we understand just how he feels, or have we really tried? See him now as he stands alone and watches children play a children's game. Simple child, he looks almost like the others, yet they know he's not the same. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. See him stare, not recognizing that kind face that only yesterday he loved. The loving face of a mother who can't understand what she's been guilty of. How she cried tears of happiness the day the doctor told her it's a boy. Now she cries tears of helplessness and thinks of all the things he can't enjoy. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no. Only he knows how to face the future, hopefully surrounded by despair. He won't ask for your pity or your sympathy, but surely you should care. Scorn not his simplicity, but rather try to love him all the more. Scorn not his simplicity, oh no, oh no, oh
What's the news, what's the news, oh my bold Shelmalier, with your long-barreled gun of the sea? Say what wind